fact-check video assessing the strategic ambiguity of UPDF deployment in Juba and border operation by me, that is Mark Tun O'Brien. In case you do not know, a recent post by Hot in Juba on TikTok has sparked debate and concern among regional analysts and social media audiences. The post claims that the deployment of Uganda People's Defense Force, that's UPDF troops in Juba, an offensive operation near the South Sudan border reflect a deeper, ambiguous military strategy by Uganda. It also cites historical military links, including notable figures like the late Major General Paul Lokech and Richard Otto. And here is our motivation for making this fact check as part of an alleged broader geopolitical play by Uganda. This video provides a fact-checking analysis of those claims to determine what is factual, misleading, or speculative. Let me summarize for you the claim. The claim summary states the central claims made in the TikTok post include thousands of UPDF troops are deployed in South Sudan's capital. Secondly, UPDF forces are engaging in offensive operations on the South Sudan-Uganda border. Thirdly, Uganda is pursuing unclear and possibly expansionist regional military objectives. Fourthly, there is a diminishing SPLA SSPDF presence in key military positions. Fifth, historical relationship with SPLA SSPDF officers like Paul Lokech and Richard Otto reveal continuity and influence. Then the sixth one is the situation raises concerns about South Sudanese sovereignty and Uganda's intentions. The cross-verification and evidence-based analysis begins. The first one, UPDF presence in Juba. There's no publicly verified evidence from official government or military sources confirming the deployment of thousands of UPDF troops within the Juba. While Uganda has sent troops to South Sudan before, most notably during times of internal instability, 2013-2014, any recent military presence has not been officially acknowledged at that scale. However, in early 2023, there were limited documented UPDF deployments at the invitation of South Sudanese authorities for VIP protection and security cooperation, especially near border communities like Nimule, Oraba, and Kajukeji. These deployments were described as precautionary, not offensive. My verdict, partially true but exaggerated. There is some UPDF presence, but there is no confirmation of thousands stations in Juba for ambiguous activities. The second thing is UPDF engagement in Juba clashes. In border clashes. The most recent clashes at the South Sudan-Uganda border, especially around Kajukeji, have been confirmed by regional reports and local witnesses, as well as social media videos of skirmishes. However, no verified statement has been made by the Ugandan Ministry of Defense or South Sudanese military confirming that UPDF officially engaged in hostile operations against the South Sudan People's Defense Forces SSPDF. The border region remains contested and prone to conflict due to land disputes, smuggling routes, and cat rustling. Some of these clashes could involve local militias or community defense groups, which complicates attribution. My verdict, unverified and potentially misleading. Clashes occurred, yes, but there is no confirmed evidence that UPDF conducted authorized offensive operations against SSPDF. The third thing is Uganda's military objectives. Uganda has historically projected military influence in the region, including the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, South Sudan, and Somalia. The TikTok post interprets this as a sign of Uganda's expansionist or geopolitical ambition. While Uganda has shown a pattern of proactive military interventions, including AMISOM, anti-ADF operations in DRC, and supporting South Sudanese security, these are typically under bilateral agreements or regional security agreements, despite rumors in Uganda suggesting intent of expansion. Military analysts agree Uganda's posture in South Sudan often seeks to maintain buffer zones, secure economic trade corridors like Nimule, Juba Road, and support allies like President Salva Kiir. These moves, while strategic, do not yet provide conclusive proof of territorial ambitions or covert annexation efforts. Verdict: speculative. Uganda's regional involvement exists, but claims of expansionist aims are not substantiated by verifiable actions or official policy declarations. The fourth one, diminishing SPLA, SSPDF command structure and external influence. There is some truth to the observation that South Sudan's military has undergone restructuring, and certain veterans of SPLA, SSPDF with ties to Uganda have retired, died, or been sidelined. However, attributing this to UPDF manipulation or indirect control lacks credible documentation. No formal command structure links UPDF and SSPDF. In fact, South Sudan has recently diversified its security partnership, cooperating with China, Sudan, Ethiopia, and Russia for equipment and training. Verdict: unproven. While some officers with UPDF ties are no longer active, this cannot be directly attributed to Uganda's strategic influence. The fifth thing is role of Paul Lokech and Richard Ottawa. The TikTok post mentions Major General Paul Lokech and Major General Richard Ottawa as examples of UPDF's deep connections to SPLA or SSPDF. While it's true that both played historical roles in South Sudan, particularly during the early 2000s, one major factual error is present. Major General Paul Lokech died in August 2021. He cannot be involved in any 2025 operations, nor is the part of current strategy, not even his spirit. Major General Richard Ottawa has had experience in the region, but there is no official confirmation he is leading current border operations or stationed in Juba. Verdict: partially false and misleading. Lokech's involvement is factually impossible. Ottawa's current status is speculative. The sixth thing is psychological warfare and sovereignty concerns. The article references Uganda's subtle psychological warfare tactics and long-standing influence. It urges you that this is being used to reshape sovereignty. While Uganda has indeed exerted soft and hard power through security cooperation and allied military relationships, labeling this as psychological warfare or sovereignty threat ventures into subjective opinion rather than fact. The African Union, IGAD, UNMISS continue to monitor military dynamics in Southern Sudan, and none have reported violations of sovereignty by Uganda. The verdict is interpretative and not based on verifiable fact. Expert commentary. Let me talk about this. Dr. Emmanuel Lokech, a regional security analyst at the Great Lakes Policy Forum, comments, Uganda has always played a delicate balancing act in Sudan, both as a stabilizer and strategic partner. However, claims of full-scale usurpation or hidden agendas often emerge from misinterpretations or deliberate political framing. Similarly, a 2024 report by Small Arms Survey emphasized the importance of separating bilateral military cooperation from covert expansionist policy, using journalists and influencers to avoid conflating routine deployments with sovereignty violation. The TikTok post by Hot in Juba raises genuine concerns that are worth analyzing, especially in a region with a long history of external military involvement and fragile peace. However, a detailed fact check reveals that several claims made in the post are exaggerated, speculative, or factually incorrect. Yes, Uganda has a military presence in South Sudan. Yes, there have been border tensions, but no, there is no evidence of UPDF offensive operations in Juba or plans to subvert South Sudanese sovereignty. And definitely no, the late Paul Lokech cannot be involved in any 2025 strategy as he has passed away. May his soul rest in peace. In this complex context, it's critical for the public to rely on credible, verified sources when analyzing military development and to avoid amplifying speculative narratives that could heighten diplomatic tensions. Rating of TikTok post claims: mostly misleading. with elements of partial truth. For further updates on security developments along the Uganda-South Sudan border, stay tuned to verified sources such as the Uganda Ministry of Defense, South Sudan's Ministry of Information, and international monitors like IGAD and UN MIS. Thank you.